So this will be another one of those videos where I read a Twitter thread, but largely this is because this is something that I want to amplify as much as I can. I've already retweeted it, but I think this is something that really needs to be pointed out because right now, the person in question that we're going to be talking about, Matt Walsh, is trying to avoid this and focus on something else because this is actually pretty fucking damning. This is really fucked up. This comes from Eli Ehrlich, and Eli is a PhD candidate at UCSC. So Matt Walsh's crew is trying to trick trans people into joining a fake documentary. His producers set up a whole front organization, Gender Unity Project, and tried to recruit me into his next anti-trans documentary. Here's a wild story of how it went down. Now, if we go and try and check this out... So, this is quite a thing. Oh yeah, and this I can like and retweet on this account too. I'll do that later. It started with an email from the Gender Unity Project a couple of weeks ago. They claimed they were doing a film on the trans community and gave me names of well-known trans individuals and surgeons they had interviewed. It all seemed normal at first. Hello, my name is McKenna. It's kind of screwed up on that one. Here. Hello, my name is McKenna. I'm an associate producer for an upcoming independent documentary on the topic of gender for Gender Unity Project, making a film exploring the real lives of people in the LGBTQIA+ communities and to shed some light on the topics of gender identity and gender fluidity in a way that will capture the attention of all Americans and be educational. Jesus Christ. I already know where this goes. That's what it's making me cringe. Yes, absolutely. Trans rights. I even talked to the producer, McKenna Lynn Waters, on the phone beforehand. She sounded like a well-meaning cis film graduate who was just curious about the trans community, which by that letter would seem to make sense. She claimed the documentary was self-funded. I was suspicious because she had finished college recently, but figured she was just rich. Who has that kind of money? Later, she told me the person they were interviewing in Chicago suddenly canceled. This happens, but is still sus. Then she offered to fly me to Arizona. Again, the surgeon they were interviewing wasn't responding to them. Then finally Nashville, where Matt Walsh lives. Matt Walsh is married to Alyssa Walsh. They have 4 children together, lives in Nashville, Tennessee, as a practicing Catholic. They sent me a release form this morning, which strangely didn't have the name of the company on it. So I looked up the Gender Unity Project and used a registered agent to shield its owners. It's dubious, but sometimes registered agents simply make it easier to incorporate, which is true. Very true. Shows that it is, in fact, shielded in some degree. Then I looked McKenna Lynn up. Her name didn't show up anywhere. After some heavy searching, I realized she used her middle name in our emails. I found the IMDb page of her real name, McKenna Waters. Well, McKenna Waters? Uh-oh. It turns out she's Matt Walsh's producer. That's not a red flag. That's a gun to your face. She wasn't a crew member for his show. She worked on over 200 episodes. I finally found her Twitter, Movieholic27, which features videos of Walsh and Shapiro doing their usual BS. I actually didn't go over here and look if she's commented on this yet. And of course, she's right away is retweeting Matt Walsh. Yeah, looks like she has not really commented. She also has 0 following and 0 followers, which, and given that she's was October 2012, usually that means that she deleted her account recently, and it's just now, like, refreshing back up. Because after you've had a Twitter account for even a week, you usually have at least, like, a few bot followers, at the very, very least. I decided to look closer into the Gender Unity Project. After searching its state registration number, I learned it was registered to Justin Folk, a far-right documentarian who works for Matt Walsh and PragerU. Wow! PragerU. Wayback Machine does have it? Does have what? Is it the, she only has 114 tweets? Oh, interesting. I'm sure she's had to scrub it, you know. But yeah, we can look up the Wayback Machine for this project. I'd be fascinated. Oh, for the Gender Unity Project. What was the yeah, let me see if I can find that. Gender Unity Project. I can't remember. Can't use links in chat. Yeah. Is it just genderunityproject.com? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, let me see. Oh, yeah. And there's a GoFundMe for it, too. Of course. Of course. Aha! Okay. Yeah. Let's do this. That's slowly coming up. So this was their archived account right before they got deleted, I suppose. Texas pushing the most anti-trans bill, and advocates fear deadly consequences. So yeah, they were basically trying to utilize this to make it seem like very, very pro-trans, you know, even though it was specifically and explicitly created to make a documentary by Matt Walsh's crew. This is sketch, super sketch. Also, here's a GoFundMe for this McKenna Lynn Waters. A group of 8 ambitious film students in their final semester at one of the top 30 film schools in the world. Creating a 25-minute pilot for a new series. Red Clover. Fascinating. Okay. Yeah, fascinating. Weird. And it got fully funded. But this is like over a year and a half ago, it looks like. So anyway, back to this. Actually, it looks like almost 3 years ago. This year, Matt Walsh declared his assault on gender ideology. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Who knows how far he and his followers will go to attack, demean, and dehumanize trans people. So if you're contacted by these slimy assholes, don't respond. The last thing we need right now is another gotcha anti-trans documentary. Stay alert and take any media personalities with a grain of salt. And they say, we're the ones tricking people. Your move, Matt Walsh. Yeah, so long story short, Jackass here, who has been an absolute pain in the ass for many, many people and is a smarmy, smug, legitimate sack of shit, is once again trying to create a documentary smearing trans people. But this time, rather than having any veneer of honesty and being forthcoming with what they're trying to do, they are legit lying to people, luring people into the false pretenses of it being an exploration of trans lives. Listen, okay. I want to read this fucking letter one more goddamn time just so you can understand, knowing that this person works for Matt Walsh and PragerU. Hello, my name is McKenna. I'm an associate producer for the upcoming independent documentary on the topic of gender. We're making a film exploring the real lives of people in these LGBTQIA plus communities and to shed some light on the topics of gender identity and gender fluid in a way that will capture the attention of all Americans and be educational. They want to exploit the lives of trans people. They want to capture the attention in a way of making it extremely explosive and eye-catching to capture the attention of all Americans and be educational, a.k.a. show them why they should be afraid of you. I'm reaching out to see if you'd be interested in being interviewed for the film, etc., etc. I mean, it's just fucking gross, dude. It's gross. This shit is absolutely hideous. And honestly, these days, it's hard to name a bigger piece of shit than Matt Walsh. And he's doing everything he can. Like, if you go and you look at his Twitter, right now, he's doing everything he can to avoid this and instead focus on specifically the type of talking point, which is also still an anti-trans, highly transphobic, event. Rather than people notice that he just got caught trying to lure vulnerable trans people, into a documentary where he would then smear them. So, Matt Walsh, you're a piece of shit. Yeah. Absolute scumbag. Pure cowardice.